Today I'm going to share with you how to make a scallop border. It's super easy. I will put up the list of what you need and let's begin. Regardless of what size quilt you're doing, if it's a square, you just measure once. If it's a rectangle, you measure the top and you measure the sides. You're going to need 2 templates if it's a rectangle. You need 1 template if it's a square. So measure your quilt. This one is 32. And I've just cut a piece of paper that width. So that's 32. You can see that it measures exactly across. I found the hardest part was making my piece of paper. Honestly, if you've got a 72-inch quilt, you've got to have a 72-inch strip of paper. You can use brown paper. The current brown paper is really, really waxy, so it very much slips. So do be careful. The easier way to do it is just get some A4 paper, fold it in half so you've got a decent sized strip, cut that, and as you can see, I've just sticky taped it together. Easy enough. Cut your paper the same width as your quilt. Once you've quilted this, you then have in your kits a second border piece. Have you all seen those? When you have a look at your kit, you've got one that goes right around the outside, and then you have one that either matches the back or is similar to the back, because we're going to put that on to fold it over. So once you've got your quilt all quilted and trimmed beautifully, you then make your paper piece and then make the other back border pieces exactly that width. So as you can see, my back border piece is the same width as my fabric. It doesn't matter what size paper you're using. You can have it this wide, you can have it that wide. Your back border fabric has to be the same width as your template paper. So if it's 72, both are 72. If your quilt is 32 inches wide, both are 32 inches wide width. Obviously not this way. If you look at your instructions, please, I have very, very, very specific photos and diagrams here. This is how you make your template. You have to make the paper template because you want the scallops to be even all the way along. You have one of these little inventions in your kit, but you can also just make a paper one. If you want your scallops deeper, you can use a bread and butter plate. You could use this cup and saucer, whatever you like. So all I've done is take a piece of paper, fold it in half, pop that down, draw around it, and then you can simply cut that out. You can use Ralph's Lovely template if that's the size you're going to do, but I'm doing this so that you can see whatever size you do. And that's your scallop. Now, taking your piece of paper, whatever width it is, fold it in half and make sure it's all even. So this is your fold side. If you look at your instructions, it says fold and it has the open edges here. You're going to take your circle and snug that up into the corner. And draw around that. You don't have to be horrendously accurate, just so that you've got the circle. As you can see, I've just done that. And now I'm going to draw my center line. So I've put my circle back on and draw a line. When you're doing it step by step with the video and the instructions, it will become as clear as mud. No, it really will make sense. So now we're going to take the fold and fold it only to that line. Please don't fold it right to the end, just to that line. If you have a really long one, you can fold that again if you need to. So fold it as many times until it gets to about this size. We're then going to take your circle, and remembering I've got my fold here, and draw around that completely. Make sure that's all lined up. Oh gosh. And I'm going to draw around that. So I've sort of completed that circle. We're then going to take our semicircle, go to this side, and draw that. Now, obviously, you've got this gap here. That's going to have to be filled. So you take it to the top, just until it's all touching, and draw that in. Now, I've got a dramatic pen here so you can see what I'm doing. This now is your even, lovely scallop curve. It's just a way to get it absolutely even along the whole thing. We're now going to take our scissors, making sure that all of this side is lined up, and cut that out. Yes, you can use your good sewing scissors. Ha ha ha. And basically, here's one I prepared earlier. It is now an evenly spaced scallop, as you can see. So you can do that and make that even scallop, whether it's a very wide scallop, a small scallop, whatever you choose. You can use anything in your kitchen, whether it's a cup, a saucer, a bread and butter plate, however deep you want that, and however wide your quilt is. This is now our template. Now, moving on to the page, please follow along with the photos. Now, we want lovely clean lines when we turn our scallop over. So what we do, I've made these little squares white, but you would make them the same color. You just use an offcut of your border piece that you just cut up. Right side of the quilt, so the top of the quilt is facing you, and the right side of the fabric, that's a 4.5 inch square. I've just ironed it in half. Pop that in the corner of each one. Now, for your fabric, we'll call this the back border. Okay, so you've got your front border on already. This is the back border. You need to iron that up between half, 1/4 inch, doesn't really matter, just be consistent. Iron each one up, as I've done here. Okay, then you're going to put that into the corner. So now we have our top of the quilt, square, the back border piece. Now that's all right sides facing. And then we're going to iron that up as a 45-degree. And pop a little pin in. You're then going to go and do the next side, just like I have done here. So making sure it's all lined up. And you pop your pin in there. So this is now on the front of our quilt, and this is what our corner looks like. Now, taking your template, I'm going to be a little bit dramatic and do it in a dark black pen. Please don't use a dirty great big black Nico pen like I'm about to do, because you obviously want to be able to wash it later out on. I guess it really doesn't matter because we're going to fold this over, but that's just my choice not to use it. You can use a blue pen. Okay, so into my corner, you can see I've put the lovely circle into the corner here. And we're going to draw around that. This is your drawing line and your cutting line. It is not your stitching line. So you need to make sure all of your layers are all exactly lined up here. You can adjust it as you go and draw around it. Now, you can use a blue pen if you feel more comfortable with that. Remembering you're really not going to see it, and I need something to aim at when I'm stitching. And just continue that all the way along. Once you get to the other end, you will see that lines up as well. And you can draw that. You can see I've done it all along there as well. So go around your whole quilt with your template. If you have measured it correctly, it will fit all the way around. Now, what you have to do is stitch a 1/4 inch in. Go around and stitch within, I like to do it as a 1/4 inch so I can see where I'm going and all the way inside. So this is my stitch, this is my cutting line and my drawing line. And this, I'm just going to colour mine in, is my stitching line. Once you've got that done, you simply take very sharp scissors. And can you see how I've gone right round the corner and followed that scallop? It gives you a lovely end at the end of your quilt. Now, because this is perfect, your cutting doesn't have to be absolutely exact, but I wanted to do this on screen for you. You can do it at the 1/4 inch mark on your cutting line. You don't have to be absolutely accurate, just within that stitching line. Can you see how I'm not really being superciliously fussy? But I'm not cutting my stitching, obviously. Go around the whole thing. I'll just finish this end so you can see. If you feel it's a little bit thick, you can cut it closer. So 1/8 of an inch doesn't really matter. This is where we see how brave you are. You can see I'm being really super accurate, right? Hack, hack, hack. Okay, I just need to get to a corner. So this is what it looks like now. Take out your pins. Are you proud of me? I use pins. Don't fall off your chair. Then we're going to simply turn it in the other way. Now use your stiletto, use your magic shushing wand. Magic shushing wands are great. And just turn the scallops in. You can straighten these up as you go. I'm just doing it very quickly so you can see. And that basically gives you your lovely scallop border. Fairly simple. Obviously, I've got to fold it out properly and iron it. But as you do, iron it over and fold that out. Now, once you're happy with it, you then top stitch the 1/4 inch around the outside to get that to sit. But on the back, pretending like this is the same color, you get that lovely corner point, and then you have no raw edges in the corner. So that would be all the same color, just like it was on my other one. We folded that up 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch. I personally press that all down and then just top stitch that, remembering that you will see it on there, which gives you that lovely 1/4 inch here as well. Or for those of you who hand sew, yes, I know I'm swearing on national television, but you can then slip stitch that if you prefer to. Very simple little border, and it works for any size quilt as long as you follow those steps. Just do remember to press it now. Give it a wiggle as you go to get that seam to sit out. You could see before that wasn't sitting exact. It's now sitting, and top stitch, and away you go. As you can see here, I've just top stitched it, and that's what the back of mine looks like. You can slip stitch these down, it really doesn't matter. But that's how, this one was a smaller curve, and as you saw, I'll just get this one around again. Just one. Obviously it's not finished yet, but that's your larger curve, and that continues all the way around. Once you've got this end here, You can just fold that back over. And if you folded it up the right amount, that should lay on that line and you can stitch that down. So making your paper template, I guess, is the hardest part of that. I just did a little 32-inch one to show you. Obviously, if it's a 72, if it's a 96, it doesn't matter. It's exactly the same principle. Get your piece of paper the same length and follow those steps. Remembering if you do a rectangle, your top and your bottom are going to be the matching sizes, and then the sides are going to be the matching sizes. So you'll need 2 templates for that. One if you're doing a square. And yes, please do mark them. The scallops may not be exact. The top and bottom will. Side to side may not be if it's a rectangle, because obviously you're making that template. It might be slightly different, but overall you won't notice. If it's a square, it'll be perfectly even all the way around. But if it's a rectangle, they might be slightly different. So that's as simple as it is to make a scallop border on any size quilt. Just follow those steps and we'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.